I personally joined the band when I was about 14 years old in about 1974, quite a long time ago now, and been playing with them on and off ever since. I did have a break for 9 years when my family came along, my two twin daughters, but since then got back into playing and thoroughly enjoying it again.
Yeah, my musical influences have always been rooted in the brass band. I was with my family in the Salvation Army. So I started playing when I was sort of 5 or 6 years old. I've got two brothers, one's 10 years old and one's 15 years older. So they were decent players when I was very, very young. So of course I was always listening to those two playing at home and always wanted to be a brass player. So I went into the junior band in the Salvation Army, into the senior band Salvation Army, come out of the Salvation Army when I was in sort of mid-20s. But brass banding is my life, it's in my blood, it's in my family's blood, and will continue to be so, I guess.
Brass banding's definitely changed my life. When I was at school, academically, I wasn't particularly bright in those days, what you might call a slow learner. And I was introduced to brass banding by my family and my uncle, who played in the local town band. And over a period of time, obviously became quite, hopefully, proficient at playing, which meant I was really enjoying it. And what I didn't realise was, at the time, that the banding was giving me confidence so that in my later life this would help me in everything I do. In fact, from becoming a very shy, a very introvert person, it led me into certain areas of life that maybe other people don't get involved in, and actually becoming mayor of the town that I now live in. But I would say it's given me every single confidence through my life. I can't stress enough to people that it is important that youngsters are given the opportunity to perform and to learn music, to give them the opportunities that I've enjoyed. And I would think that they would enjoy it too.
Traditionally, I think brass bands have gone from thousands and thousands of brass bands throughout the country to more than likely just a few thousand brass bands now. I think, of course, one of those reasons is because the brass band come from the mining and the mills sort of industries, whereas the father of the family would perhaps play a cornet and bring a son into the fold, and his son would play a tenor horn, and so it would go through the family. But because those mills and collieries, etc., have been closed down over the years, those youngsters aren't coming in anymore. I think one of the other things also is it's perhaps not cool now to play in brass bands, and young people tend to want to be rock stars or play guitars or drums or something like that, rather than coming through the brass way, much like I did.
I think the brass band movement in the UK is still very strong, and I think it's still strong up in the northern parts of the country, and always has been traditionally. But I think what we've got to look for is the future, and the future of young players coming through, and the fact that we have to make sure that they have the opportunities to learn and carry on the tradition of brass bands in the UK. Because let's face it, there's nothing more British than hearing a brass band on a Sunday afternoon in a bandstand or at a concert. It really brings the hackles up on the back of your neck.
brass banding's still really popular. I think that it's maybe a lot fewer people than it's been in the past. And I think within brass banding, tradition is very important. The people that are within brass bands, you'll find that perhaps their father or their brother, cousins, they've all been involved in brass banding. That might be through a Salvation Army background, it might be through a work background in the town.
The band practices twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 2 hours for each rehearsal, and then any additional rehearsals that we may need if we're, say, contesting.
Leading up to a concert with our particular band, I'm sure that other bands share this similarity. It's really, really important that you know, we all egg each other on. I certainly find playing euphonium that you know, when I'm rehearsing with a band a few weeks leading up to concerts, there's always people tapping other people on the back and saying, well done, you played that really well, and it really, really helps going into a contest.
We do about one concert a month and various other outdoor activities around the town. But on top of that, we're obviously contesting, which is quite a big part of the town band itself, and that takes up an awful lot of time and many extra hours in rehearsals.
The lead up to a concert is important, but it's also important to keep lots of music on the go, whether you're using it for a concert or not. It's actually sometimes nice to do music that you're not going to play in a concert, because keeping people's interest up to a concert is part of keeping the morale up.
Relationships are quite good within the band, and I think they have to be in any band, because when you're coming towards a contest or a concert, obviously you need support from your fellow players. You need to be serious about the playing, because you want to give the audience the best possible production of any music and best possible performance of any music that you're going to be playing. But obviously you need to have some fun as well. So in the lighter moments in rehearsals, yes, we do have a laugh and a joke, and it does make the evenings and the practice and all the hard work very worthwhile.